Hey guys, it's the Butcher of Basra and I'm bringing you my second online commentary video for Napoleon Total War. This is a 1 versus 1 battle on the pyramids, and I'm playing Chris James, who's in command of the British. I'm in command of the French. Here you can see my army, which composes of 8 units of line infantry units. One of those is an old guard, 3 voltigeurs, which are skirmisher units, 2 cuirassiers, 2 units of howitzers, and 2 units of lancers. And over here you can see my opponent's army, Chris James, which composes of 3 dragoons, 1 unit of hussars, 8 units of line, 2 units of 9-pounder artillery, and I believe 4 rifles. Now this battle started off extremely quickly. Chris James 45 saw that my artillery pieces were being dragged up this hill right here. He thought I was just going to try and bombard him from here. He saw that the hill wasn't really fortified. He just saw 2 Lancer cab units, so he thought he could overwhelm me with his 4 units of cav. Watch what happens. So basically, his cavalry just got slaughtered by my 2 cuirassiers and lancers. And as I've mentioned in my last video, lancers are extremely effective against heavy cav. Their charge bonus is just devastating, and you can see how my units have just overwhelmed him here. Anyway, after that big cavalry we just had on the top of that hill, my decided he wasn't going to move from his position, so I obviously had to go and get him, and I had artillery advantage on him. But as you can see, my artillery was instantly under fire from his 9-pounder, and this isn't really something I could have helped. If I was going to advance on him, my artillery was obviously going to be targeted, and as you can see here, they are going to bite the dust.
The entire unit is dead, sir.
Now when your opponent is sitting on a hill, and he has 2 units of 100-foot artillery, and you have no artillery left, there's only one thing you can do, and that is attack him. But when you attack someone with artillery on a hill, and they're just like, stationary, you never attack them head on, because that's exactly what they're expecting from you. And by head on, I mean you don't go straight into his line of fire. You try and like have more units on one side of where he has his men, and force the other units which aren't firing to move and face you, which gives you an opportunity to flank him. And over here you can see I'm moving my main body over to face him. You can see on the left I have 5 units of line, on the right I only have 4 units of line, because the left is where my main attacking force is, and my rifles as well. I'm going to try and overwhelm his right flank again, which doesn't have that many rifles and not as many line. So if I can crush that flank, then I can again swing in and take out his center, and then finally his left flank. Now on my right flank, you can see I have 4 units of line advancing hard on his left flank, where he has his artillery and most of his line infantry units. This is a distraction sort of maneuver. I'm moving up these guys to ensure, Chris, that I'm actually going to attack you there, so keep your men there. I don't want those guys on his left to move in and help the guys on his right where I'm overwhelming him, because if that happens, my battle plan's just going to be shattered. What I have to do is, I'm going to have to sacrifice the men. I'm going to move up those 4 line infantry units, possibly take a shot at him, and then retreat. And that's exactly what's happening here, because I came under canister fire. I obviously didn't stand a chance against his main body, so I just pulled those guys back. Meanwhile, I'm going to flank around my cavalry. Remember, he has no cavalry left, which puts me at a big advantage. and by moving my cavalry, I'm going to force his guys on his far right to redeploy to face him, and that gives my guys on the left
Our
a
men are
perfect
running,
opportunity
sir.
to push up without being under fire, if you know what I mean. And once my men push up, he no longer has the hill, so basically he doesn't have the height advantage anymore. And over here you can see my cavalry just swinging around his rear. I'm going to attack this unit of line, which is in the middle of nowhere doing nothing, unsupported, and take it out. Chris at this point made a big mistake, because when he saw that my guys on my right flank, the 4 units of line, which weren't really my main force of attack, when they were pulling back, he made a mistake, because he should have chased them down that hill and taken him out, or if not take him out, try and flank my left flank. But instead he just sat there and didn't move, which was probably a micromanagement error, or I really don't know what he was doing. Anyway, here are the guys who are on my far right flank. They're just going to move to the left of the guys on my left flank, forming a new left flank, if you like. And here I saw that his artillery pieces weren't very supported in the rear, so I just charged in my remaining cav and took him out to ensure that canister shot from them wouldn't be an issue later on in the battle. And this is the beauty of having an advantage in cavalry. Since Chris James lost all his cav in the first few minutes of the battle, I was able to constantly harass and disrupt his forces throughout the remainder of the battle. And this is very important, because harassment and disruption allowed for two things. A, for you to strain your opponent's micromanagement, giving you an advantage, and B, it allows you to always push up on him without being under fire from his line infantry units, and giving you the advantage of a first shot for upcoming engagements. And this is extremely important. And over here you can see his men are on the run. I've taken the hill. His micromanagement is very straight at this point. And as you can see, he's forgotten about this line infantry unit. I've just charged him with my cav. I forgot to put them into squares, and they're just going to be taken out.
Regroup, men!
จ้าต้องมี6 คนอาใจ
Our men are running, sir.
Goddamn French. That's all they're good for, if you ask me. I'm just kidding. Anyway, at this point, my opponent's constantly retreating. I mean, our numbers are pretty much the same, but by dictating who gets to fire and where, you can actually give yourself an upper hand. And because I have cav, again, I can disrupt his forces and harass them, force them into squares, advance, and just repeat the whole thing over again. And I mean, it's a tried formula. It works, and I'm gonna keep doing it over and over again in every battle that you see me play. Over here, my line on my far left isn't quite in range of his line, and I'm quite happy to leave them there until I can force those guys into squares, because at the moment, at this point, I'm moving my cav into the rear of his right flank, and by doing that, he's gonna try and face them, and when he tries to face them again, I can move up. In a minute, you're gonna
The men are
see
fatigued,
how
sir,
a stray
and
bullet
must
from my
rest a while.
skirmishers is gonna take out his general. But anyway, on his far right, there you go. There goes his general. I've charged my cav into a small unit of line which can't form into a square. I've taken it out, and over here you can see how I've got a bunch of line infantry units somewhere in his center. I've forced him to fold his left flank to face these guys who are flanking, and you can see not all of them are actually firing. It's just the guys on the left and right. The guys there's like a small part of his line infantry unit in the center which isn't actually getting any shots, and that's good because I'm maximizing my firepower, but he can't get all his men to fire. And Chris realizes that, and then he's moving again to try and get them all to fire. And by doing that, I can shoot while he's running, and that gives me an advantage. So always try to put your men in a position where they can fire and your opponent can't fire, or if he's firing, he's firing at more than one unit at the same time with one of his units. Anyway, Chris is constantly retreating at this point, and I'm gonna try and separate his units because they're not all together. And I'm gonna use my general here to take out a Black Watch unit, which is an elite infantry unit, which is very separated from his other two units. And over here you can see these 5 guys miss my general. That was an epic miss. And just look at this charge. Look how effective this downhill charge with my general unit is. That's like a 90 men strong. unit of Black Watch and just flying, and they're just gonna shatter in a second. And my general is the 3-star general, Marshal Soul. I like using this 3-star general because I feel it really does make a difference. I mean, I wouldn't buy the 6-star general or the 10-star general Napoleon because that's just a waste of money. But the 3-star general does make a difference, I feel, in how long your men last on the battlefield. And here, those 5 guys that try to get my general are gonna drop one by one, except this one lucky bastard over here. Look at that guy. Imagine what's going through his mind. And the battle's pretty much over at this point. I mean, you can see Chris is making his,
A glorious
his last
victory,
stand
sir.
in that
He's
oasis
soon
in
to be
distance.
yours.
But I greatly outnumber him. I'm just going to surround him and take him out. Anyway, good game to Chris. I really enjoyed that. Please be sure to rate and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more content.